A lot's been said about COVID in the past year. Some the public has dismissed despite science saying otherwise. But if there's one thing we can agree on is that COVID does not discriminate. It's not a problem based on race, gender, sexuality, or nationality, but everyone's problem. And as Caricom's chair points out, that alone is reason enough why it requires a common solution. He spoke with us from Antigua and Barbuda in this ZNS News exclusive. Caricom Chair and Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, the Honorable Gaston Brown, laying it bare. The economic wounds from COVID's impact on the Caribbean are getting deeper and deeper. And with recovery being protracted for quite a while, this undermines the prospect of existing jobs, leading to increasing unemployment throughout the region. What's worse is that economic fallout could last for a very long time. To turn things around, small island developing states like the Bahamas must not only secure sufficient COVID vaccines, but once in country, its people must be willing to take the shot. And at this point, Prime Minister Brown believes it's more an issue of vaccine complacency than hesitancy.
What we've observed within the region is that we only get a spike in vaccinations whenever there's an outbreak, whenever there's a significant outbreak. That is so unfortunate. And then when you look at the threat of the Delta strain, which is sure to come to the Caribbean, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Unfortunately, we still have a large category of unvaccinated persons, and that represents fertile ground for COVID spread. So it seems as though there's a significant amount of complacency, and I don't know that governments can rely on incentives. It seems as though that we now have to up the ante in order to save our citizens and residents from themselves and in order to even protect our economies.
Brown further reasons that key to all this is harmonizing a public education program whereby influential people throughout the region encourage vaccinations.
We have been literally exchanging notes with each other as to how we should approach this challenge. We recognize that many other countries are now introducing policies to provide employees with a safe workplace, a safe work environment, both in the public and private sectors. So those are strategies that we have discussed, and even though they have not been implemented in all member states, I mean, a number of member states would have moved forward to put those policies in place.
And such policies are critical to reaching herd immunity. The other side to this, sadly, more hospitalizations and even deaths.
So, we are very concerned because our region is one of the most vulnerable areas in the world. And achieving herd immunity through vaccinations is critical. It's perhaps more critical for us than even developed countries because they have sufficient internal resources that we don't have to depend on any other country. In our case, if you don't get tourists coming to our shores, many of our countries and our peoples obviously will descend into abject poverty. But I don't think that our people have quite gotten it. I mean, there are individuals who believe that it is exclusively a personal choice as to whether or not one should get vaccinated.
If you missed anything, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our ZNS Network YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for breaking news, live event coverage, web exclusives, and much more.